Okay, hello, welcome back to the Land Rover Toolbox videos. This is the fitness vlog. I'll just give you an update what's going on. What I've been doing lately is going to the gym twice a week, and that's twice a week, and then there's one time I'm doing work by myself, biking and walking, a little bit of running. And do I feel fitter? Yeah, I certainly do. The thing about the gym, it's low impact. However, it's cardio or CV, a lot of all body exercises, so I'm working all the muscle groups in my body at the moment. Now, I feel fitter, I've got my heart rate up when I'm working. It's a bit hard because I was a smoker. I've got to increase my lung capacity, and that will come in time. As for running, that's still actually quite hard to do, so I'm doing it bit by bit by bit. The 5k, I think it was, that I was challenged to, has now turned into a 10k, and I've been put off the idea. I don't want to do it with the work colleagues because I think they're now pushing the boat out just as a joke, so I'm not going to get involved with that. Muscle strength's improved, but this is something that is very, very slow. Okay, you probably won't notice much here or here. However, my chest, okay, has expanded a bit. I've got some muscle, but I've also got this this fat here. I've still got the moobs, man boobs, yeah. And as for the stomach, well, I'll stand up and I'll show you. Yeah, you can see the fat here still. This is shrinking, and it's not from exercise. As one of the other things that I looked into was what is the right type of foods to eat, and I was still looking into insulin resistance, which I still am pre-diabetic. And one of the things that I found was a ketogenic diet, or a keto diet as they call it, which is cutting out your carbs and getting your body to run on fat. Now, it's interesting in both ways, because if you were in a survival situation and you couldn't get a massive amount of carbs to fuel your muscles for glucose, you can run on your body fat. Yeah, endurance runners do it anyway. They can run for 1.5 hours, they exhaust their glucose, and then they have to start burning fat. They change over. And book I've got, Mike Stroud, this was quite interesting when I read it. He'd actually been across the South Pole. He'd carb loaded, they had supplies, they ran out of supplies, and then they just had to keep pushing. And what happened is they went through all the fat reserves in the body, and then the body started breaking down muscles and internal organs to take the proteins to turn it into sugar to keep them going. Now, that's an extreme case, but it happens. Yeah, he survived, and he's sort of done other things with Randolph Fiennes. Interesting book, very interesting book, Survival of the Fittest. However, it's sort of, it's not an everyday life, a survival situation. You want to be getting food. Now, getting back to the ketogenic diet, the difference between running on carbs and running on fat is, say you have 1700 calories in your body for food energy in sugars, okay, you have something like 70 to 100,000 calories of fat in your body. So you can imagine the difference it is when you're actually in a survival situation, that the fat will last a lot longer than the sugars that you have in your body. Yeah. The other thing is that you see with us with bellies, and we have fat on us, and the bigger you are, the more fat you got, obviously. It's because your body's actually in a survival mode. It's if you take too much sugars in, yeah, the insulin in your body will then take the excess sugar, and then it'll pack it in and make fat of it, okay, because it's actually fat that makes you, sorry, it's not fat, it's sugar that makes you fat, not fats. If you mix carbohydrates with fats, it will obviously store it. But the main thing is, and this is something that in supermarkets and low-calorie diets and that low-fat diets, they give you sugar instead, which is ironic, really, because that's the thing that does make you fat. Okay, so ketogenic diet, that's what I've got here. Yeah, Mark Sissons. This is interesting. You can find him on YouTube. He also talks about a paleo diet, which is basically low calorie diet. You can also understand that something called the Atkins diet, that's on the same level. What you're basically doing is cutting your carbohydrates out and you're taking protein and fat in, okay? Ketosis or ketogenic diet is basically what you're doing is you force your body to use fat as energy rather than relying on carbohydrates or sugars. And it's long-winded. It can be dangerous if you don't understand how it works, because when you go into ketosis, and this is what diabetic or diabetic ones do, they have something called ketoacidosis. There's no sugar, so the body starts to go and take the fat and use it as energy. But what happens is the ketones rise to a really dangerous level, and then they can go into a coma. With healthy people or people who are D2 diabetic 2s or pre-diabetes like me, which is insulin resistance, it's okay. You have to do your own study, and I'm not going to teach you how to do it. I'm just saying this is what I'm doing at the moment. You have to change the chemistry in your body, yeah, and this is what I'm doing. I've been on it a week and I got into ketosis. It's quite strange because you get a flu and you sort of have to work through it as your body's changing through it. And the difference is I'm losing weight actually already. I'm on 5% calories. 5% of calories is from carbohydrates, which is about 30 grams. 20% calories from proteins, which is needed for building muscle, etc. And the rest is fat. Okay, 75 to 80% of the diet is fat, okay? Which is good news for meat eaters, people who love the bacon. Okay, well, bacon's actually more protein than anything. Meat is proteins. Okay, fatty meats. Okay, well that's good. There's good fats, there's bad fats, and it's a very complex diet. But the thing is, it's effective, and for very obese people, people who've got far too much weight, that's recommended. In America as well, it's getting very popular. It's also good for long distance athletes, not so good for building muscles. But anyway, this is just a heads up to say that this is what I'm actually engaged in at the moment, and you probably see on my face the weight is going. Okay, I've got a little bit of a hang here, yeah. My skin is damaged actually, it's not very elastic here. You pull it down and it takes a little while to spring back up again, yeah, compared to skin here, which just is still elastic. This is from grease and oils and welding, ultraviolet from welding machines. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's the way we're going. It's for two reasons. One's for getting rid of excess fat, but it's also to learn a survival technique. Because ketosis is something that you can get into if you run out of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are harder to find than fats and proteins. You can go kill animals and you get your proteins and your fats, okay. You do need a lot of vegetables on this diet because potassium and sodium electrolytes, which helps store energy in your body, you have to make sure they're all right. But the difference is you don't have to go around looking for sugars and raiding shops and wherever else you can scavenge food from in an extreme situation, yeah. And I'm pretty sure, even though these guys say it's something that we used to do naturally, I'm not 100% sure of that, but it does actually work, yeah, it does work. From the diabetes point of view, I'm monitoring my blood sugars, and anybody who understands this, I'm well within my sugar limit range, and my body's producing sugar, I'm not ingesting sugar, only a little bit of carbohydrates, and it's stable. I'm not so hungry. I don't have this hyperglycemia, don't have this hunger all the time. What's happening is that I'm going from one meal to the next easily satisfied, because fat takes a lot longer to digest, more calories in it, and it's actually better for you if you look into it. My readings are about 5.4 mmOLL after a sleep, after about 8 hours of fasting, and once I've had a meal, about 2 hours afterwards, it's 6.4 mmOLL, okay, which is well within tolerance. Before I used to get hyperglycemia, my blood sugars would drop and I'd get the shakes, you know, shakes and sweats, started to get a bit dizzy and lightheaded, that was telling me that I needed to get sugars into my body to bring my blood sugar level up. That's insulin resistance, okay? It's not happened. It's not happened for the last 2 weeks. I had a little incident where I was starting to get hypoglycemic, and then something kicked in and I started to feel okay again, which is brilliant. So I know it's working. Diets in general, you have to sort your own thing out. You have to do a lot of reading and a lot of study if you're interested in losing weight and getting fit. The whole thing is, it's not about losing weight, it's about getting healthy, you know, and getting your body to work for how you want it to. So yeah, anyway, it's just a little bit of a fitness update. Eugene is still thinks he's the bee's knees. We should be going out pretty shortly to do some airsofting. This is one of the aims, and I'll keep you updated on that. But you know, some of you guys actually, I know, are on ketogenic diets. We've been talking on Facebook, and I'm surprised how many people have got diabetes conditions, and I'm surprised how many people already are doing a ketogenic diet, because it does work. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll get on with some of our proper land driving mechanics stuff, okay? Till then, see you later, guys and girls. One other thing I want to mention actually is the use of apple cider vinegar. This is good for digestion, it's good for your joints over a long period of time. Like us, when we get a bit older, we need a little bit of help. This is brilliant stuff. My mum recommended this, and she's got arthritis or rheumatism, and it helps to relieve the inflammation, okay? It also stops calcification, or it helps to get rid of the calcium that builds up, and if the body doesn't get rid of it, then you need a little bit of help, okay? This includes kidney stones. I'm not a doctor, so don't take this that I'm recommending this. This is what I'm using, and it's effective, okay? This helps me a lot with digestion. It's the proper stuff. Holland and Barrett, which is about £7. I have 2 teaspoons at breakfast, lunch and dinner, okay, and it works wonders along with lemon juice, pure squeezed lemon juice. Alright, so it's just one of these things. It's like having an additive in your fuel, yeah, or in your lubrication system, should I say. You put these little things in and they help out, which makes a hell of a difference. As you'll see, physique is starting to change, okay? Look at that. Look at that. Little bit of fat left, yeah? Alright. Even though these moves, look at them, they're soft at the moment. After a while these will get hard. Once I start doing the calisthenics, I'll then start hardening body muscle. But at the moment what I'm doing is to get myself generally all over fit, yeah? So you can see just within a few weeks, yeah? Okay, there's a difference. Still a bit of adipose there, but that's going, which is good.